However, there is one video that I've been needing to get to because I've been seeing it plastered all over social media, and everybody's been talking about it for all of the right reasons, in at least my neck of the woods. It's going to be our first shoe0nhead examination. Needless to say, I don't know how many of y'all are aware of who she is and what she's all about. But boy howdy, anyone who's able to dunk on Hassan and his freaking orbiters with relative ease always has a plus in my book. We can agree to disagree on certain things, politics and all the other live long day, but if you're a hater of Hassan, you are immediately on my side of the arguments and everything. So, because again, Pragmata, the video game Pragmata has been doing numbers on social media because it's just been exposing all of the wrong, or all the right people for the wrong reasons. I don't know how many of you guys have been just, how on chronically online you guys are. I don't really consider myself chronically online because I don't really partake in these sort of discourses. I just kind of see them and I'm like, oh, that's a thing. Swipe. Continue on. Ooh, funny picture. And then that's the most chronic I get. And I guess being a streamer, I kind of have to be. Just in my line of, I don't even consider this work. So in my line of whatever the hell I call this. But apparently, seeing a male video game character interacting wholesomely with a small female child has got people so worked up in various different ways. And I'm just over here sitting on my chair just being like, you're just now catching up. You're just now catching up to the concept of, ooh, I may want a family. Because I see cute child doing cute things cutely, and I'm like, so this is what it's like being a dad? Is this what it's like having a child and everything? And again, I'm just sitting over here being like, you're just now catching up. The hormones and the biological functions are just now starting to kick in when you're in your late 30s, and it's probably too late. Congrats, you missed your opportunity. Can't say no to the adoption, though. That's always a possibility. But it has triggered so many people in so many different directions of being like, oh, you just hate children in general and absolutely despise the idea of men actually wanting to go out and be dads, be fathers, actually have a family and support a child of their own. They actually want to cave into their biological functions and everything. You're just now catching up to that concept, and it somewhat infuriates you. Okay, I guess that's where we're going with it right now. That's where we are in this day and age. We look at the idea of a wholesome family unit, and it disgusts some people. And again, the Catholic in me has always been saying, this is what you strive for. This is what you set out to do. Be fruitful and multiply, the good book says. That's literally what I'm here for. To find a wife and have a family. That's the end goal here. Some people it just takes longer to do. Some people can do it right quick. It's like, yeah, my sister's married, my brother's married, I have never been on a date before in my life. It just takes longer. Granted, I need to put my back into it and actually try to meet people. But that's neither here nor there. That's my own thing that I need to address. But apparently there are some people that are going out there being like, oh, all these people that want to be dads and want to have a wife and have a kid. What incels these people are. And I'm thinking, like, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. It's so freaking dumb that we've gotten to this point in our lives where the very concept of a family unit infuriates people. And that's why we're here with shoe0nhead, apparently, because boy howdy, has she stirred up a hornet's nest. And I had to scroll down into the comment section, just not to read the comments, but just so that I would avoid her all-seeing eyes staring at me in the freaking monitor. I didn't want to just have that constantly gazing at me, judging me, being like, why don't you have kids? Like, don't want, just, yeah. Who the hell is that? Your Reckoning, Spark. That's who it is. So without further ado, we're going to be looking into this and just seeing, what did she say? What did she bring up that got so many people, especially Hassan, absolutely freaking butthurt over everything about the concept of a family, of a father, of children? So, this is shoe0nhead discussing the male protector fantasy. Is it incel to want to be a father?
Your eggs are drying up. If you're a woman online, you have probably heard that many times.
They are.
Perhaps this image haunts you at night. It is a true fact that women's fertility begins to decline at age 30, and they suddenly wake up and get what we call baby fever. But what about the men? Do their sperms rot?
No, biologically speaking, no, they don't. But you can take various amounts of chemicals to try and, like, I don't know, grow your hair back, make yourself look bulkier and everything. And then your little male sausage just gets smaller and smaller, and your freaking nuts turn into raisins. How you holding up there, Hassan? Unfortunately, I think you've reached that point where your little fruit salad down there don't work right now, does it?
Do their balls shrivel up into little raisins?
I just said that. I just freaking said that.
Die? Do they wake up one day and get baby fever? Do men have a biological clock in the same way women do?
Yes, they do. They do. You see the desire to have a child, to see something that is of your creation out in the world, and it gives you this semblance, this feeling of overall appreciation for what you are able to achieve. We call that pride. And it's actually kind of a good thing when utilized in the right direction.
I've briefly joked about this in videos before. In fact, a clip of mine from a video I did a few months ago actually went viral recently thanks to the VTuber Smugalana.
Ah, yes, the male biological clock. It's not physical, but spiritual.
Men will deny this, but they absolutely have a biological clock. It may not hit in your teens or your 20s, but one day you're going to have a dream. You have a little daughter making pancakes with your wife in the morning, and you're not going to be able to get it out of your head.
Oh my God.
And the comments were full of men discussing their dreams to start a family. There is not much discussion about—
What's so wrong about that? What's so wrong about the idea of, I want to have a kid? What's wrong with that? If you're going through the necessary steps of being like, I want to have a wife, I want to have a child, I want to provide for a family because it makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something. So that I can come home and I see their smiling faces, and it makes me happy to know that I am loved, that I am cared about, that I am respected, that I have pride in something. Why is that a problem? I don't understand.
Men's desire to have children. Like many things, it's not really something they talk about publicly. That was until a certain video game came out.
What are you?
This is Pragmata. This is what stirred the hornet's nest. Got all the men's balls tingling and all the women's ovaries pumping. Just the concept of having a daughter threw everything out of whack. Where it's just like, oh, I want a child. I want a son. I want a daughter because being a dad, being a mom sounds really, really good.
I am DI03367, a state-of-the-art pragmatic created here at the Cradle. I possess basic life-saving...
How about we call you
Diana.
Diana?
Pragmata is a sci-fi action game where you play as astronaut Hugh Williams, who is sent to investigate an abandoned moon base. He meets a childlike android named Diana, and they team up to survive and escape the space station. Along the way, they uncover what went wrong and defeat the bad guys, all while forming a strong emotional bond.
Like actual human beings. Like actually good, well-written characters. Why did this make people so angry?
I'm counting on you, kiddo.
But it seems to have awakened something deep within gamers. Especially male gamers. The urge to get married and have kids. I'm not planning on getting married and having kids, but damn, this game is like fatherhood calling to me. Is this how women feel about their biological clocks? This game makes me want a daughter. What is this feeling inside me? It can't be. It's like, I want to protect. It's like, I want to be a dad. They won me over. The white baby makes me feel paternal. I will burn anyone and anything that tries to harm her. This game is dragging out the innate dad instinct. I want to like Pragmata, but I can't, knowing that men are also enjoying it.
You can tell a woman said that one. Unfortunately. Women see men actually forming feelings and actually being human and being vulnerable. And they hate that. Women want men to be emotional until men become emotional, and then they don't want that anymore.
This is a game for incels.
Women!
Babe, wake up! It's time for your yearly gamer culture war slap!
Yep.
2014 forever, man. We are never going to escape Mr. Gamergate's wild ride. In this video, we are going to discuss
Dark times. Dark times back in those days where it's just like, oh, a woman slept with a game developer so she could get some easy brownie points for her game, and then all hell broke freaking loose.
the facts and theories behind the so-called male biological clock, after we discuss the drama surrounding the game Pragmata, and how a bunch of men expressing a simple, wholesome desire, the desire to start a family, has turned into yet another culture war. Yet another gender war.
Why, again, I know I'm going to be saying this a lot throughout this, but I just need to keep reiterating the question. Why is this such a problem? That men want to have a family, that men want to have kids. Don't you want the human race to survive? This is a two-way street here. If you want people to still exist, there's a process. And this is part of it. Just this desire, this need, this want to have a family, to have children, to see something you create go out into the world and change it for the better. Doesn't that make you happy? To see something that you made succeed at life? It's how your parents probably felt. It's how their parents felt. And so on and so forth. I mean, let's be honest. What separates us from just any other random animal on planet Earth? Every single living creature on this planet, us included, is ingrained with the biological need and desire to reproduce. That is what we do. That is what every single living creature on the planet, from the simplest single-celled organism to the most complex multicellular creature the solar system has ever freaking seen, all of us boil down to the same basic principles. Eat, sleep, multiply. And also just survive. I guess survive is achieved when all three things are met. Eat, sleep, multiply. That's the basic principles of it. And it doesn't matter how simple or non-sentient of an organism you are bound by those 3 principles. Eat, sleep, multiply. Do that, your species will survive. That is how this works. The fact that people are willingly saying that, no, I don't want that, well, we do consider that removing things from the gene pool to make us a much more perfect species then. I suppose we can accept that. It's like, okay, we don't really need that mentality multiplying again. We'll just let you do your thing and just get on out of there. That's why I'm so happy that Hassan's cock and balls don't work properly. That way his bloodline ends with him and we don't need other little Hassans running around and leading to the Fourth Reich or something. I don't know. But we can at least be happy that it ends with him. So, yeah.
The gender war. Men versus women, women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the female loneliness epidemic, dealing with dating apps, hookup culture. Do men like curvy or thin women? Do women like dad bods or fit men? Do they like beards or clean shaven? Oh yeah, that reminds me. Before we get deeper into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, Henson Shaving.
Good segue.
For the last few
Good
decades,
segue there.
razors haven't been designed to work better. They've been designed to be marketed better. More features, more gimmicks, more blades. Just add one more blade, bro. One more blade, I promise, bro. One more blade.
That was something I
While
did.
Skin irritation
That was something
is
I
just
had
treated
seen.
like something you just have to deal with. And a
That was
major
something I
cause
had
for
seen before. It was just
irritation
like, oh, we
is
made this new
blade
blade and now
flex.
we
Because
made this new
most
razor. It has
use
6
springs
blades
to
on it.
let
I'm
the
like,
blade
why?
move as you shave. That helps them adapt to like different angles, but also causes extra tugging and razor burn. Most
Yeah.
people just learn to cope with like aftershave and cold water, fixing the
I just
symptoms
cope.
instead of
Whenever
cause.
I get the
question
shaving done,
nobody
I just
asks
cope
is,
with the pain.
should the blade even move? And here's where Henson Shaving comes in. By fully supporting a 2-sided blade all across its length, they hold the blade in place, preventing
Interesting.
any bouncing or skipping, resulting in an irritation-free shave. No springs, no movement, no need to compensate with
I mean, I
pressure.
see
And
the
there's something
appeal,
really
but me
satisfying
wanting to
about that.
maintain
Not
the
just
beard,
getting a
this is
better
not for me.
shave, but
But
finally
for some
fixing
other,
something
for
that's
other
been
people, it
quietly
most
annoying
definitely
you
will.
for years. Like when you spend months wondering why you don't feel rested even after you get 8 hours sleep, and then you realize, oh, I need a new mattress. You don't need more aftershave. You need a new razor.
Yeah.
And since I switched to Henson, I noticed that my shaves have been smoother than ever. No tugging, no cuts. The best part is, once you invest in a Henson razor, it is a lifetime purchase. The only thing you need to replace are the blades, which cost just 10 cents each. So once you own the razor, you'll only be spending like $3 to $5 per year. Henson offers a variety of different colors. I have the rose gold. I think it's so cute. So if you're tired of razor burn, skin irritation, and overpaying for replacement blades, Henson
Yeah.
Shaving is definitely worth checking out. Just
Interesting.
head over to hensonshaving.com/shoe and add both a Henson razor and 100 blades to your cart. Then enter code SHOE at checkout to get the blades for free with your purchase. Big
I
thanks
mean,
to
both
Henson
my
for
dad's
sponsoring this
birthday
video,
and Father's
thank
Day are
you,
coming
the
up.
viewer,
I
for not skipping the
might
ad.
look into this.
Right?
No,
Now,
I didn't
let's get
skip
back
the
to
ad.
video.
I know my deal.
Throughout history, there have been countless stories centered around a very specific dynamic. The adult protector and a child. You see it everywhere. In video games, they call it a dad simulator. The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, God of War, Detroit Become Human, BioShock, Life is Strange. Also movies like Logan, True Grit, In a Way, Monsters Inc. Shows like The Mandalorian. Literature has done it forever with The Road, Les Miserables, and many, many others.
Don't you want to protect a child? Like when the Titanic was going down, it was women and children first. Men go if there's room. This is the law of the land, that we protect the women and the children. Men go down with the freaking ship because we're men like that. We want to make sure that the future survives because we want it to survive.
Shows up time and time again because it taps into something deeply human. The instinct to protect, to guide, to teach, to nurture something more vulnerable than yourself. It is a beautiful and powerful story that has been told for centuries. And you're like really weird and an incel for enjoying it, actually.
These people are the worst when they just call that out. And again, I don't understand why people have lost the definition of what the word incel means, it's supposed to be like border. I don't even really remember, but I feel like it's basically the decision to say like, no, I'm not going to have sex. I'm not going to have any sort of physical relationship with the opposite sex or whatnot. It's just basically being celibate. You know, that thing priests do. That's what it's supposed to be. It's a conscious choice, not a slur that's thrown onto people that you don't like.
Incel game. If you buy this game, I'm gonna assume you are a pedophile.
Yep, immediately. They see small child and they're like, somebody's getting off to this. And nobody was bringing that up until you did, good sir. You were the one that brought up the pedophilia, so I think we're going to need to scrub your hard drive real quick and throw you in jail for a couple decades. Mayhaps?
I feel like it's a breach of ethics at this point to design child characters for an audience of majority male gamers. Like, let's stop with the defenseless girl the big strong man has to protect. This reeks of sexism and control.
So do you want, like, the big, tough, strong woman to protect an innocent, little, fragile boy? I mean, go for it. We'll see how that works, but I don't see how that's going to freaking work. Because there's this little concept and theory called nobody hates women more than women. So when you put in a big, tough, strong, competent woman as your main lead, it might appeal to the male gaze to a certain degree, but every single woman's probably going to hate that character's guts because she's better than her, better than the woman playing, and be like, I don't want to play this, I feel insignificant. Whereas men can look at the big, strong, tough, burly man and be like, hell yeah, brother, and just go for it. They see the small child, whether it be a girl or a boy, and be like, I will make sure nothing bad happens to you because I am big, tough, strong, and it's my freaking job to make sure you stay alive. Apparently that's a problem nowadays.
I hate these father simulator games. They always give me the creeps.
Tell me you have daddy issues without telling me you have daddy issues.
This is low Kirkenuanly fascist propaganda and gives me pedo vibes.
Definitely a Hassan fan right there. Definitely a Hassan fan right there. Maybe a Destiny fan too. Maybe he double dips.
Wouldn't it be cool if I sneezed right now? Fascist propaganda. If this is fascist propaganda, slap me and call me Adolf. Zoomer women really look at a wholesome game involving a child and wait, what the f is low Kirkenuanly?
I think that just has something to do with Now, I'm not an expert in Zoomer speech or anything, but I'm going to have to assume that this has something to do with Charlie Kirk and him getting assassinated, and you just basically disagreeing with apparently everything that he stood for, down to the smallest detail. You're probably one of those people that made a really funny TikTok about mocking his death and then lost your job over it because roll the dice, pay the price, around and find out sort of deal. If I had to be spitballing ideas as to what this little number is supposed to mean, probably. I feel like in any other situation, this would have just been a word that happened because you accidentally sneezed, hit enter, and were too lazy to back out of it. But no, this word took genuine thought to make. Probably a couple of hours due to the low brain power that this individual no doubt has.
After hearing about toxic masculinity for the past 15 years now, finally a topic comes up where it's overwhelmingly positive masculinity, and what is the response? I think the funniest thing about the pragmatic controversy is that those incels genuinely think they could ever get near enough to a woman to impregnate one.
Just because no man will approach you, lady, this doesn't mean that every single man is an incel that's sad, pathetic, and alone. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's an entire cornucopia of men out there that will no doubt be able to pull a woman. Somehow, some way, because love works that sort of way, that it isn't just beyond the physical. It isn't just because she's a woman and everything. Love is, like they say, love is completely blind. You never know who you're gonna fall for. Either way.
It's not nuanced. Pragmata is blatant pedophilia catered to male gooner gamers.
You're the one bringing the pedophilia up here, lady. Check her hard drives.
Why are people thinking this is sexual or makes you a pedophile? Because men are notorious for being peds and disgusting humans? They sexualize everything? You are not very smart.
Looking in a mirror.
A lot of loser males who often turn to gaming are pedos. It is an unconscious strategy to avoid competing with chat, as well as complementing their own pure adoriness. Stalled development.
Now, see, I have this theory that, and this is just from personal experience of my own, when you use big fancy words to try and make yourself sound smarter, you're freaking retarded. They just like full stop. The more big fancy words you try to use in an argument to make yourself look like an absolute freaking genius, you're freaking dumb. If you use simple speech, you just come off as a normal guy. Like, immediately when you're saying, like, unconscious strategy, complementing their own pure attorney's stalled development, what does that even mean? And if I need to pull out a dictionary to understand what exactly it is that you're trying to say, you're already not worth my freaking time anymore. I'm just going to call you retarded and move on. I don't freaking care anymore. You're just a freaking idiot, and I don't care what you have to say anymore. Which makes the whole point of using big, fancy speech right here completely freaking redundant. I had a terrible habit of trying to use big, fancy words to make myself sound more interesting and smart. And I stumbled and fumbled and bumbled my way through the conversations, and even my mom was like, you need to stop doing that. It makes you sound pretentious, and you don't even know what you're talking about. So I'm like, you're right. So I stopped doing that. And now people actually want to talk to me. Because I come off as normal. I try to avoid using big fancy words, but sometimes it's just like, well, when I quote somebody, or it's just like, oh, have you ever heard this thing called and such, and then try and explain it. But at least a little bit of humility, try and humble yourself. Assume that the person that you're talking to doesn't actually know what you're freaking talking about. The educator in me would then have to say, okay, no offense to this person, but I'm going to have to dumb it down a bit so that we can both be on the same page. And then just go from there. That's the thing about that.
What? Y'all are full of shit talking about dad instincts and whatever. We know why the f you want to play the game. You want to crack the little blonde bimbo slut.
That is a 5-year-old presenting a robot that they're talking about. Now, I know it's just like the age-old anime dilemma. It's like, it's a 1,000-year-old robot, but it looks like it's 12. Where do we draw the line here? And I can tell you without a shadow of a freaking doubt, Capcom, when they were making this game, were being like, okay, we're gonna make a little sidekick for our main protagonist. What if we make it like a little child so that you have all the desire in the world to make sure that nothing bad happens to her? Give the player more of an incentive to protect this character and actually feel something. And all the developers were like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But I feel like people like Senior Stupid over here were being like, oh, Capcom put this in because they want to have sex with the child to fulfill their own degenerate thoughts and ideas. You're the one saying it, kid. You're the one saying it. Check your hard drives. I think there's incriminating evidence. It also doesn't help that you've got a trans flag in your name. When you're saying stuff like this, doesn't look good for you.
What? This character design creeps me out.
It's a small child in a big person coat. Have you not ever seen pictures of like little children running around in their parents' clothes and it's all oversized and baggy and the sleeves are flopping all over the place and the bottom of the shirt is right down to their ankles. And you've looked at that and like, that is so freaking adorable. They think they're a big adult person because they're wearing their big adult dad clothes. It's adorable. Protect it.
Why does she look like a doll? Why is this blonde child with a blowout running around barefoot?
Okay, I've actually done some research onto this because of I was just curious of like, yeah, I understand it's a robot and everything, but there's actually this is literally me going, well, actually, having one of those moments. I've actually done the research where in the game, she's barefoot because she's a robot, and the entire facility is lined with charging panels on the floor. So in order for her to constantly keep recharging, she has to make contact with the floor, hence why she's not wearing shoes or slippers or even socks for that matter. She has to go barefoot so that her robot body is constantly in a state of charging. That way she doesn't freaking die. The more you know, you can tell this person didn't play the game. Because if you did, you'd know, and then you're like, oh, that makes sense. Or you could just be like me, who didn't play the game, doesn't really have any interest in playing the game, because it's just like, I just don't really vibe with it. I can understand the father-daughter dynamic and the need to protect and stuff. I just don't really find any interest in playing the game because of the game. But I still was like, why is that? And then I type it in and like, oh, okay, that actually makes sense. That's actually really smart. I'm still not really interested in playing the game, but I can understand the logic now. But this person's too slow and stupid to get that down pat as well.
I've not yet played the game.
Yep, see, not played the
Is this
game.
expanded on in the plot, or is this just eye candy for creeps? I feel like I'm going insane. She just looks like a cute kid to me. Like, that is just literally a cute little kid. I do not see the sexualization, and I am a huge pervert, mind you. I do
I am the biggest degenerate you've ever seen before. And even I look at this, I'm like, it's a kid. What?
not see what the f these people are talking about. Are there creepy people on the internet who are sexualizing Diana? Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely yes. It is a small minority, but it is still disgusting.
Most of them are complaining about the game, so...
In fact, a subreddit had to be shut down because people were making not safe for work art of this child,
which would count as CP, technically speaking.
which honestly is not shocking. It's Reddit. That's not the
That's true.
game's fault. The game has nothing creepy in it. These creepy people will always exist, unfortunately. I have made several videos about these people existing. People getting mad here are not getting mad at the people sexualizing Diana. That would be completely understandable. It would make sense if they were going to the accounts that were doing that and calling them creeps, but no.
Yeah. Find the people that are doing this stuff and be like, dude, what is freaking wrong with you?
They're for some reason just getting mad at people liking and enjoying the game. They're just spurring out and randomly calling everyone and anyone incels.
Why did they make her look like a porn star, though?
What do porn stars look like for you? The FBI is currently wanting your hard drives, like, now.
Why is the child sexy? Are you okay? These Twitter freaks see a child, immediately sexualize them, and think everyone else is as creepy as they are. Like, no bitch, that's you. And Reddit. You and Reddit. There is nothing in this video game that caters to the freaks except for the fact that Diana is a child. Compare that to, like, Cuties, where there were up.
Oh my god. This film haunts humanity. Holy hell, I was hoping I would never see that freaking poster again, but here we are.
Closes of real children twerking. That is media. That is catering to those people. And
Netflix, baby. Let's sexualize the 6-year-olds. The movie.
recently came out from the outlet The Gamer that in the beginning talks about what happened on the Reddit and how disgusting some people are being towards the character Diana. Okay, fair enough, I agree. But then towards the end, the author throws in something very telling.
Well, I think it's already telling because I can see it here. I don't know if chat's blocking it, but it was written by a woman, so... Well, let's see what she had to say.
I have not yet played Pragmata, and that's because I'm a little tapped out on stories where men adopt daughter-like figures and prove their masculinity by protecting them.
Again, tell me you have daddy issues without telling me you have daddy issues.
That is their real problem. Men protecting people. That's just them proving their masculinity.
Okay. It's like, I have a problem with men protecting people. Okay, you go protect people. I don't want to do that. I might get hurt. Then shut up, bitch.
And as we all know, masculinity bad.
Blatantly not fuel, whether you agree with it or not. The average attraction trope on a little girl, blonde, blue eyes.
Okay, why do you have to make everything about it? The Aryan race? Because it fits my politics, therefore it agrees with me.
I mean, the whole game is low-key Nazi propaganda, to be fair. I think the men who play this are probably creepy, but how is it Nazi propaganda?
Now, let's put this into certain perspectives and everything. Because I like watching and listening and researching World War II documentaries and stuff and all aspects of the Second World War. Because I'm watching, like, things that break down how Nazi Germany functioned, who was in the top echelons, what they did, what they stood for, and everything. Does that make me a Nazi just because I'm researching them? No, it doesn't. It just makes me interested in history. So playing a video game where a guy protects a small child apparently makes you a Nazi. This is people who let politics govern every single aspect of their lives and who don't go outside and actually talk to people IRL. This is the epitome of I've never touched a grass before.
Blonde, blue-eyed toddler and tiaras looking white girl you have to save is literally Nazi propaganda straight out of the 1930s, dude. Sorry, I don't see it. Ugh, I really don't have the energy to deal with this. Just use your brain.
Looking in a mirror!
Sorry, I don't have the energy to explain my schizophrenic paranoid delusion. Good. I don't have the energy to listen to it. Listen, I know we're all used to seeing gay, Black, Hispanic, disabled furries in media lately. But I promise you, white people still exist. It's not Nazi propaganda.
I feel like this girl...
Just because your genes lined up in a certain way apparently makes you a Nazi. Every Swede is probably a Nazi now. It's like that blonde-haired, blue-eyed conservative down the road who's a Catholic and who's actually Jewish. She's a Nazi. Why? Because she has the hair and the eyes of one, apparently. Well, then by that logic, if all it takes is blonde hair and blue eyes to make you a Nazi, Hitler wasn't a Nazi then. Because he didn't have blonde hair. He didn't have blue eyes, I think. I actually don't remember. I don't usually look at those cold, dead eyes of a monster anymore. But either way, he still doesn't fit the frickin' description. Which was always one way to break a frickin' fascist head wide open, is who believed in the Aryan race and everything. It was like, well, your supreme leader doesn't fit the description, and then they just start crying and everything and run away while shitting their pants. So, he had blue eyes? Okay, again, I'm trying to think back, but all I can think of is just black and white footage, and that does not help me with figuring out eye color and everything. The takeaway, though, is he had only one nut, so... Not the perfect specimen that we're looking at right now.
Character is an objectification of the idealized child. She's pulled right from the patriarchal white supremacist imagination, the perfect pure white girl child that must be protected.
You can tell an Eho wrote this one. She's using the big fancy words. She's using the big fancy words to prove that she's not totally dumb and selling her body for $5 on the internet.
So she can produce the next white generation.
And there's where the meme is that I've been seeing this whole freaking time. Unsolicited unsolicited opinions from online prostitutes. Right in the freaking bin.
Anyway,
Funny how y'all
Didn't ask, bitch.
all have paternal instincts for a child with a model woman's face plastered on it. Make her look like an actual kid with missing teeth, short hair, bare face, snot, and see if those instincts kick in the same. This game is openly catering to pedos. The gaslighting is over.
Now, I don't think physical attraction is anywhere freaking near the concept of paternal instincts. I don't think there's a single person, a single father or mother on this planet that would look at their own child that is 2 or 3 years old and think, God, I wish you looked better. Name me one person, name me one father or mother out there somewhere that would say that about their own child. I'll wait. I'll freaking wait here. Again, check this individual's freaking hard drive. You're going to find some very, very particularly illegal stuff.
wait, I'm trying to follow the logic here. Let me just give myself some brain damage. So we make her look more like a child in order to not cater to pedophiles? Am I following that correctly?
Because I think the more childlike, the better it is for them. I think, if I'm following this brain dead logic.
Also, the face on the left is like a child 6 to 7 years old, and the one on the right is like a 3-year-old. Diana's
Exactly.
a robot kid. She's not a robot toddler. Also, again, she looks like a kid. Am I going insane? Like, that looks just like a little kid. Do they just want her to look ugly? Is that what this is? They want her to be ugly? Like,
I think the women are intimidated by the small child. They want to have a man come in and protect them. I figured it out! Oh my gosh! All of these women are just insecure about their own femininity because they can't pull a man like a 5-year-old can, apparently. If I'm following this logic correctly, they want to be the one that's coddled, protected, and having all of this, like, wholesomeness projected onto them. I figured it out!
I need more brain damage. Hold on.
We the incel gamers LARPing saying, ooh, I want to be a dad now, because they're manipulative, creepy freaks and like the ooh little girl with the model face, especially the lolicons, obviously. The devs know the male gamers hate a realistic or ugly child, because that's not what they're playing for.
I just look at this and I just see all of the grammatical errors in this entire freaking statement, and I just have to think to myself, man, kindergarten must have been rough for this individual.
If they made her look like a realistic, ugly child, none of them would be saying this.
I don't think that's the point.
First of all, why are they acting like it's realistic to portray children as ugly and disgusting? Children are not ugly and disgusting. Like, they're cute and adorable. That's what they're known for. Like, yes, she's made to look cute. Yes. That's how you know this game was not made by Western video game developers. That's how you know there was no Liliths on the dev team here.
Yeah.
You guys would lose your shit while playing BioShock. Actually, BioShock is a really good example of this design working right. The little sisters are all gross and have gray-green skin.
No, you don't understand. Everything around me must be ugly as or I will furiously start masturbating. This all sounds like 2014 discourse, because it is...
I can't be turned on to all of this! I can't!
2014 discourse. Please don't let there be Gamergate 2.0. Who's going to be the shoe0nhead 2.0 to emerge from the Gamergate 2.0? If she's listening now, just, this might sound very vague, but don't. That thing? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Phew. Thanks for talking to me all the time. Ta-da!
Is this supposed to be when we first boarded the tram?
Uh-huh. I drew it. It's for you.
Look at that. You wrote your name, too. Not half bad, kiddo.
This robot girl makes me
Doesn't that just tug at the heartstrings? Doesn't it just tug at you, being like, the small child drew a picture for me, hang up on fridge, and then stand with your hands on your hips, proud at what you made. So, and yeah, that was another thing. Is like that little clip coming up. Is like, this is the only AI art that I will actually like.
Uncomfortable, and the fact that I haven't seen female gamers fawn over her is interesting. I've seen more clips of her and that man, and that is not how kids behave. Something weird is going on here.
Yeah, and daddy issues! I know you don't like men anymore, but this isn't our problem to deal with. I really do need to make that video of why did you post that? Because you make yourself look like such a freaking idiot.
The something weird going on here is you, ma'am. You are the something weird. Men like the father simulator game where you have to protect a small child and shoot up a bunch of robots in space? Suspicious! Also, I have seen plenty of female gamers falling over this character.
Me.
Yeah. Okay, everything's
global here.
Who would win? Decades of antinatalist propaganda? One little bean. There were even women cosplaying as her. And when women even expressed how cute they thought Diana was, they're also met with this.
Oh my god, Diana is so precious and adorable. I'm gonna love this game. Thanks for telling everyone why you want to play the game, before you make up some other excuse to hide your pedophilia.
What?
Water guns are the best.
God damn it. A woman comes out and be like, oh my gosh, it's so adorable. I really want to play this. Pedophile! Shame, shame, shame. Freaking log off.
I like it just as much as crayons. I like how the sand feels on my toes. I press down and sink in. Children don't act like this. This is how someone who fetishizes fatherhood wants children to behave. To normal people, it's actually deeply off-putting.
It might be the whole robot thing. Because I can assure you that no 5-year-old is that articulate. I can assure you of that. They're still like edging out of caveman speak as far as their vocabulary is concerned. But if we're talking about a robot trying to act like a child, they may be a little bit more descriptive with what's going on. ChatGPT in a flesh suit. It's like if you were going to ask a kid, be like, oh, do you like water guns? They'll be like, mm-hmm. It's like, what do you like about, do you like them more than crayons? They can't really formulate. It's like, how does the sand feel? It's like, just like, they don't know how to respond to this, but this is just how a robot thinking it's a child would respond to this. Do you want the robot or do you want the child? Which one do you want to do right now, weirdo?
The best part was all the actual parents, like, replying to these people like, yeah, no, that is literally how my 5-year-old acts. Like, yeah, no, that's pretty accurate. Fetishizing you mean the human desire to procreate and start a family? Oh, you want to meet a woman and settle down and have a family? Maybe have a house, 2 dogs? You sick f***. We've
Damn, I'm just the worst then, apparently.
reached radioactive levels of incel propaganda.
What the f does incel mean anymore? I feel like I ask this in every single video. This tweet got
Yeah, it's just like, incel has lost its definition. It's just now a slur to just call somebody stupid or something. It's like, this might be a little bit telling of the changing times and everything, but the bundle of sticks word was used quite frequently back in the day, and it wasn't being a homophobic slur. It was just simply being, hey, you're stupid. The pack of cigarettes, the bundle of sticks word, the homophobic slur. Yeah, it was just a bunch of straight people calling a bunch of straight people stupid, but wanting to use more flowery language. So now incel has kind of taken over that that sort of meaning where it's lost its basic definition and is now just an insult for people to call other people that they don't like or agree with and stuff. That's where it is right now.
Thousands of likes. I feel like I am going insane. Where does the incel part come from? Like, they want men to be open about their emotions, and then men are open about their emotions, and then they're just called Nazis or incels or both.
Because you've fallen into their trap.
Usually both. It's usually a package deal. And this tweet came from a man, to make things worse. A grown-ass man saw another grown-ass man speaking about the normal human desire to want a family and want children one day, and called him an incel. Cockroach behavior.
In any case, what is this? Capcom's Pragmata. Wait, did it come out?
There's Mr. Cock and Balls don't work properly anymore.
Already, Pragmata, it's making thousands of people suddenly want to start a family. You play as Hugh, a soldier stranded on a ruined lunar research station. His job is protecting the childlike android Diana while fighting rogue AI. In one emotional moment, she gives him a crayon drawing of the two of them together as a little family. Even streamers who say at the start they didn't want kids end up breaking down happy in tears. So what's really interesting about this is all of these unfuckable losers in the gaming sphere always talk about like starting families and stuff. And I don't understand like why this has become a thing that they care about. Like,
I don't understand why anybody would start a family. The concept of starting a family and having children and having a wife is completely foreign to me. The concept escapes me. I am incapable of understanding the biological need of wanting to have children and taking pride in the fact that my children are succeeding. It's probably because my cock and balls don't work properly anymore, and that my own parents don't love me anymore, and because I decided that I want to be a communist and have politics govern every single decision of my life because I have absolutely no autonomy whatsoever. I'm sitting here alone, sad, miserable, and hated in my $3 million mansion, and the only thing that gives me joy any time of the day now is when I electrocute my dog for daring look at me funny. Subscribe to me because I'm the smartest man alive on the planet, and I really, really, really want to have sex with Asmongold despite the fact that I absolutely hate everything that he stands for, because he's better than me, because he's smarter than me, because he's more good looking than me. God, I want Asmongold inside me so much. Hassan Piker, 2026. That is a legit quote. Do not question it. Do not community note it. That is 100% correct. I don't speak it. I'm not coming up with this on the fly. I'm just relaying the message to you. He's the reason I don't stream on Twitch anymore. If you need to point the blame anywhere as to why I won't stream on Twitch anymore, you're looking at the ugly ass mother yucker that's responsible for that. He's also 35. He's 2 years older than me and looks like he's in his 50s. His head is really small. He's very insecure about himself. He's fat. His cock and taters don't work right. He shocks his dog. He doesn't understand the concept of a family. He's going to die old and alone. And the world will rejoice that his gene pool will end with him.
if you're a gamer, you should care about things that you actually experience. You should care about things that you actually enjoy.
The communist saying that, despite the fact that he has not experienced true communism ever before in his freaking life. People in glass houses, Hassan, if we're going to apply that same logic to you, you shouldn't be talking about communism anymore because you have not experienced communism before. If we're going to apply that logic to you, you should be expounding on the wonders of capitalism, because it is through capitalism that you have been able to achieve what you have been able to achieve.
Right? If you're a lonely gamer who has never been around a woman and will never have sex with a woman. Why do you care? Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, it's just not something that you're going to experience ever for your life.
Bold of him to assume. He just, again, this is just him self-projecting and wanting to bend the world through his own machinations. He doesn't want other people to have sex and have children and start a family because he knows that he's never going to freaking achieve that. Sure, you can have sex with a woman and everything, and that's fine and dandy. But because he's not shooting anything out, unfortunately, he's not going to have any kids. His bloodline ends with him. And I really, really, really want to start popularizing that idea that the Hassan Piker bloodline ends with him. That he is a massive disappointment to his entire family lineage. That he is solely responsible for his entire family tree freaking dying. And I would be so freaking happy for that. His uncle wants to have sex with animals, by the way. I just want to put that one out there, too.
The rest of your life, right? This is something that I never understand.
Wow, maybe there's a reason people are yearning to start a family and can't afford to have one and can't seem to find a partner. They feel alienated from their work and atomized from their community. If only there was a political commentator around to speak about all this. Oh well, guess not. First of all, the only care about something if it affects you is extremely libertarian coded and also very weird coming from a guy who understandably wants everybody to care about a genocide that is happening across the ocean. Second of all, what is this nihilistic?
Yeah, against the age-old argument. How can you be worried about starting a family, finding love, and having children when there's a genocide going on? I'm sorry, I don't care. I just want to have a wife and a child, maybe 2, 3 max. I've got the house. I've got the stable income. I just now need to find the wife and then go from freaking there.
Horse shit. Yeah, never aspire for anything. Never aim for greatness and meeting. This is the dude the media wants us to believe is going to save young men from the alt-right pipeline.
The opposite is happening. Because they see what the left is propping up, and his name is Hassan. And they don't want that. They don't want to be some sad, lonely 35-year-old, 50-year-old looking mother yucker who's just constantly raging and aging on the internet about shit he doesn't understand at all. Take it from me, as someone who is literally in his age bracket, that shit don't fly, my friend.
Yeah, okay. And I love how he's like, unfuckable losers. Like, okay, congrats on the sex, bro. Check out this sex haver over here. I'm sure all those unfuckable losers could easily go to foreign brothels and pay for sex like you, Hassan.
Exactly. To quote the man himself, I've gone to a brothel, Artemis, and had sex with the workers there. I don't hide it. I don't give a shit. Why would I? End quote. That brothel in question was raided for child sex trafficking, by the by. I just want to put that one out there, too, along with his uncle wanting to have sex with animals.
Something weird about a man who could easily consensually get sex from a woman, but chooses to go to a brothel. I don't know. Just saying. Also, 35? No kids?
Clock's a ticking there, no cock and balls. You're running out of time before your lineage dries up like your nutsack.
Like, I'm sorry, that just pisses me off. Like, sitting in his ugly-ass $600 Gucci sweater. I swear I've never seen this guy in a fucking normal-ass t-shirt. Sitting on his high horse, looking down at people for wanting something more out of life. I don't understand how...
They want something that he can't have. That's the kicker right there. He's intimidated, he's infuriated, he's insulted at the fact that people want and eventually get what he can't. And if there's one thing that Hassan absolutely hates more than anything else, it's people succeeding at stuff that he's not succeeding at. Why do you think he rages out of control every time Asmongold tops him? in viewer count, unfortunately for him. God, he would love Asmongold to top him. But the point is, it just screams more about insecurity on his part that you have all these other people who are infinitely more happy, infinitely more successful than he is, and it infuriates him to no freaking end. That is classic freaking elementary school bully mentality. That that bullies really only pick on people because the victim has something that the bully doesn't. And they want to feel more in control, more powerful, more dominant in that sort of back and forth. But Hassan can't really do that because, again, he's sad and alone and depressed and angry, and he has no friends, and his wiener doesn't work right anymore, and his bloodline's gonna die, and his dog's still alive, and his uncle fucks animals on the side. It's unfortunate that he's been handed this circumstance, and unfortunately, he has every opportunity to change. He's just too freaking stupid to change. Because in order for him to change, he would have to admit that he's wrong. And Hassan is never wrong. Who says this? Hassan does. Do you see why I never will return to Twitch?
Someone could be so mentally mind raped that this is their reaction to such like a simple, wholesome concept. Like literally no joke, the entire meaning of life is somehow confusing to Hassan Piker, anti-natalist. If I saw a child that looked like that, I'd probably attack it.
Probably should. And again, I know there's people in chat here. The trans flag is not doing you good. It's sending a very bad message to everybody else that the person with the trans flag in their name wants to beat up a child. That's probably not a good look for you. It does not help your argument at all, and it just reflects even worse on trans people. It's like, oh, this trans person wants to attack children. All other trans people want to attack children. You can see how they can spin that. Which is why I'm always skeptical about people with flags in bios. Even like the American flags. I'm like, can you not? Because now anything that you say is going to be tied to that flag.
I felt like hitting her. The right-wing nutjobs seeing this and feeling paternal instincts are just predators. The only instinct I feel as a man right now is self-defense. I want to kill it.
I want to kill the child, this person says. And I just love what Rock Solid is saying here. Pragmata is a psyop to counter decades of anti-natalist propaganda and bring up global birth rates. And then they just show a clip of Diana just being the cute child that she was written to be. And it's just like, I get the joke. I get the funny that's being said here. Unlike the person who's quote tweeting, who literally wants to commit infanticide. They want to kill the child.
Yes, the ones saying they want to protect a kid are the predators, not the ones saying they want to kill it.
The only thing I felt while watching this is pure bloodlust for that annoying creature. I hate children so much. Before you come at me, yes, I'm a 35-year-old crazy cat lady and proud of it. Stay mad.
I wouldn't really be mad, but I would just be disappointed because an entire future has just been denied because you're being a selfish narcissist. Your previous ancestors are rolling in their graves, realizing that their bloodline ends because you got mad on Twitter. Sad, really. Again, projecting the daddy issues.
First of all, every time you see a little smiley face like that, that's how you know that person is madder than they've ever been in their entire life.
The smile is a lie. just like everything that they stand for.
Listen, obviously, if you simply don't want kids, that's fine. Like, whatever. Not everyone wants kids. Not everyone wants to be a parent. But the societal attitude, the difference between men and women here, how they handle this situation is so, like, fascinating to me.
I'm probably never having kids. I'm probably gonna play video games for the rest of my life. I'm probably gonna be as hot for as long as I can.
Hassan's girlfriend, possibly ex-girlfriend, 2026. I don't care that my lineage isn't going to continue. I don't care that I'm a massive disappointment to my parents in that regard. I don't care in general. I just care about me.
And I'm probably gonna keep making money. That's probably what's gonna happen for the next 40 years until people are just gonna keep being mad at me about it.
That is just such a sad mentality to have. I'm just going to keep being as hot and profitable as I possibly can until I wither away and die. That is so freaking sad to me. That is such a freaking awful mindset to have. To just be like, yeah, nothing matters anymore. I might as well just die right now. I don't care. Freaking get a job!
Pause is gonna hit me like a brick wall, but at least I will be getting the bag until then. You don't want kids? I'll do it whenever I want. I don't think I'm running out of time.
Absolute delusion.
Yep.
I think a lot of men in this situation are like, damn, I wish I had a family. That sucks. Women overcompensate and they pretend to be proud of it, and it just comes off as really kind of sad.
Exactly. The guys are just looking to be like, damn, I want that. And that's where the conversation ends. Whereas you got Valkyrie over here just being like, woe is me, pity is me, I'm a product of my own decisions and I can't do anything about it. Ah, shit, dude. Feel bad for me, but give me your money anyway because I'm sad and hot and lonely and I might have sex with you if you give me enough money. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to have sex with you because nothing works down there either.
I guess it's like, as a woman for a long time, it's like, oh, you're too young to have kids. Don't have kids. It will ruin your life and your body and your career. Don't have children. And then all of a sudden you hit a certain age and it's like, your eggs, ma'am.
They're gone. They've evaporated into dust. They've just gone. Because unfortunately, unlike men, women have a physical biological clock. You are running out of time when you get into your 30s. You only have a limited number of eggs that are possibly able to be fertilized, which is why some people do freeze their eggs for later. I think that is how my brother-in-law was conceived. He ended up actually being a twin because of it. But the point is, you have a very limited number of years. You have limited time on that regard. We don't make those rules. That's just how biology works. And that's where the clock meme comes in. Just being like, you're running out of time here before you can have children, and then you're going to regret it.
I get it. It's frustrating. I get it. I hid my pregnancy from the internet. Nobody knew I was pregnant. Well, some of you
did.
Guessed, because I was fat as
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I can tell just by that one shot. It's just face is a little bit more puffed up. The shoulders are a bit more broad. Yeah, I could see.
But anyway, I hid it from the internet, and while I was like 5 months pregnant, I was getting tweets from like groypers and like, TikTok, your eggs are drying up. But this like, fuck you haters, I got my cats. Enough. Stop spreading that attitude. Stop being a crab in a bucket. Like, even if you don't have children, that's fine. You could find other meaning in your life, obviously.
Yeah.
But don't encourage that type of mindset. The amount of anti-natalist propaganda young men and young women see nowadays is like insane. But the biggest anti-natalist propaganda has to be like $3,000 rent, $2,000 daycare, and student debt, honestly. Like, if we're being honest. It's just
You just made poor decisions in your life then. You weren't thinking ahead enough to be like, okay, can I afford this? I mean, I was able to afford my college tuition. I got lucky with a couple of scholarships, and the A+ program really helped in that first year as well. And that's just because I put in the hard freaking work to earn it. And then when it came time to actually graduate and everything, I came out of college debt free because I made the correct choices and thought ahead and saved the money and everything. It's why I've been able to afford the stuff that I've been able to afford. I don't want to say it helped that I have a tax accountant father and a bank teller mother growing up, which instilled in me to be a very, very, very frugal individual. But at the same time, I look at this and I'm like, yeah, I was able to afford a car day one, drove it off the lot 100%, paid off myself. I've been able to afford a house now. I'm making more money than I've ever had in my entire life being forklift certified. My annual house payment is just a little over $400 a month that I then pay to my dad because he's my quote-unquote bank, because I borrowed the money from him, but made the necessary like $70,000 down payment to get the whole thing started. And I'm still turning a profit because of this little thing I have called a job. I know it's terrifying to people, but that's how I've been able to succeed. I got a job. Holy crap. This ain't rocket science, people.
Bad because, like, through all of history, like, imagine your ancestors. They've been through, like, war and famine, and you're just gonna end your bloodline because the rent is too high. But it's understandable. They don't feel like they can support a child. They can barely support themselves.
And that is entirely fair. If you look at everything that you're going through right now, it's like, I'm barely able to make ends meet on my own. I physically cannot afford a child. I'd really, really, really love to have a son or a daughter to call my own, but I would only cause them more pain and problems because I can't afford to take care of them. I can't afford to feed them, to nurture them, to entertain them, to love them. I physically don't have the money to do so. That is when you go and get a better job so that you can. That is how this works. That is why the dad went out and got a really good job so that he could freaking raise his kids. It's this traditional family dynamic of the father goes out to work, does the 9 to 5, does the 8-hour shift. The mom stays home, takes care of the house, raises the kids. The dad comes back home with the money to buy the groceries, to feed the family. And he takes pride knowing that he gets to come home. There's a warm cooked meal that he paid for, that he gets to sit at a table that he bought and see the family that he earned happy and smiling and laughing because they love the life he's providing for them. There is no better of a feeling for a man than that. You go to work, you slog your way through it. It may be a decent job. It could be an enjoyable job. It could be absolute hell on earth. But you get home and you see everything that is riding on you being a success, being happy that you're a success, makes the whole thing freaking worth it. And I can say that from personal experience because, boy howdy, my dad had to pull a freaking number when he was starting off with his tax accountant job and everything. He's retired now, and he freaking earned it. But I remember growing up, when tax season came around, this man would work, like, I swear, 16-hour shifts. He would go into work in the morning. He would come back home for lunch, or he would come back home for supper, and then he'd have to leave again. And I would not see him until like either I was still up in the evening, like way late in the evening, and then he would come back home. There would be even times where he would be home after supper and he would still be working. He would still be doing other clients' taxes and everything. And this was back in the 90s as well. No internet, no cell phones, none of this stuff. It's all analog. So he just has his physical typewriter that he's clacking away on the kitchen table, putting all the numbers together and everything. And there was one rule. When dad's working, you do not bother him because he's trying to provide for you. And there's this wonderful little picture that I remember being taken. It's in my baby book, essentially, because I was like maybe a year tops old. Dad's slaving away at the kitchen table with his typewriter and his papers all spread out and everything, head and hands, thinking things through. And I'm just sitting on the floor in my diaper and shirt, and I have this broken typewriter that he had that doesn't work anymore. And I'm just playing dad. Like, I'm doing taxes as well, and I'm looking over at mom and be like, I'm helping. And it's such a wonderful contrast. There is no greater of a feeling than you doing work and your child is emulating your own work because they want to be like you. That's the whole point of having a child, of continuing your bloodline so that your legacy endures, which is why I'm so happy that Hassan's bloodline ends with him.
Especially on one income, like how it used to be. Those days are gone. You know, if I was president and I wanted to make America great again, that would be the thing I focus on the most. But no, we have to do another bullshit war in the Middle East. Okay, whatever, we're not going into that, not in this video.
Lots
Nope.
of strange reactions to this game. Let's clear some things up. Childless men do not have paternal instincts the way childless women have maternal instincts.
The woman assuming they know how a man works. I mean, at least men understand that we don't understand how women work. We've been trying for years, centuries, millennia even, to understand how women operate. And we have failed every single freaking time, so we just give up. We're just like, we don't get it. We're not going to understand it. Bold of this woman to assume that she knows how we operate.
Men first experience paternal instincts once they have their own children, and typically, those paternal instincts are only ever felt for their own children and no one else's.
So I guess uncles and grandparents don't count? Do stepdads count? Because technically speaking, his stepchildren aren't technically his children, biologically speaking. I'm finding a lot of holes in your argument, ma'am.
Men are not nurturers. Men don't gush over cute kids in public. Men don't have baby fever. If a man wants to possess a child for any reason other than it being a product of his own lineage, he's likely a predator.
Always. It always goes back to this. They're one-trick pony. I don't understand this man. He must be a pedophile.
What?
Okay, first of all, even from like anecdotal common sense, this is just not true. This is obviously bullshit. Research
Exactly.
literally shows that childless men experience like the desire for fatherhood almost just as much as childless women experience the desire for motherhood. Apparently, young men want children more than young women do.
It's just that biological drive to protect. This biological desire to see your future continue. Women need men to do that. And men need women to do that too. It's a two-way street here, people.
Nowadays. Many men, including childless men, exhibit caregiving, protective responses to infants, even if they're not their own. All through history, men have protected, mentored, even died for kids that weren't their own.
Again, women and children first as the Titanic is going down. Men going onto the battlefield to ensure that not only their country, not just their people, but their family is safe and protected. They're willing to die to ensure that their future lives. That's the whole point of it. And women don't understand that. I'm sorry, you don't. Just in the same way that men don't understand women the way that women understand women. And even then, that's a little bit called into question.
So with this logic, like, uncles, stepdads, adoptive fathers, like, anyone like that is a predator. Like,
Exactly!
men
I just
have
said that!
The protector gene, and this game just activates it. It's really not deeper than that. Yes, it's true men don't have maternal instincts, but men do have paternal instincts. There's a reason this game is about protecting her from evil robots in space and not, like, I don't know, breastfeeding her. Yes, women
Yeah. Sorry. Ain't happening.
and men are different. And I like a huge factor in this very popular trope is that the man gradually develops paternal instincts over the child despite his stoic, emotionally distant, masculine nature.
The kid grows on him, opens him up a little bit more. He lets people in because he's closed himself off from the rest of the world to be strong, intimidating, foreboding, a force of nature that should be feared, intimidated, and respected to that degree. And then the cute child does cute child things, and then this rock solid man begins to soften a bit. Everybody gets that story trope. Everybody does. And it's freaking adorable every time it's done.
These gamers are experiencing that through the main character. If Capcom's goal with Pragmata was to make everyone who plays this game want to be a parent, then they've done an amazing job. I always sit back when Diana starts playing and think to myself, so this is what it's like to have a daughter? She's so cute. And for the record, yes, that is what having kids is like. It's also not so fun stuff and lots of responsibility, but the good parts completely outweigh the bad and make it all worth it. There were hundreds of tweets from people, mostly childless people, mind you, being like, that's not what having a child is like, actually, you stupid gamer. It's actually terrible and awful. Men like this view having a daughter like having a pet dog. Once she grows up and isn't a cute little girl anymore, they'll begin to resent her.
Daddy issues.
Men really do want kids the way kids want a puppy. All the fun, but none of the responsibilities. I don't like the way you guys talk about children. Like, they aren't toys. People will lose their f***ing minds when they realize that kids aren't like a dog or cat. They're a goddamn nightmare.
I don't like how all these people are equating children to animals. Seems a little bit dehumanizing if you ask me. But dare I call a woman a bitch, which is a female dog. And then suddenly I'm the bad guy, apparently.
Watching a child play with a toy and actually raising a child are two completely separate things.
No, they're actually kind of the same thing because you gave them the toy that they are then playing with, which is also stimulating them, which is causing them to learn things and understand how their body works, like with the hand movements, finger movements, standing on their own two legs to actually use the dang thing. You're raising the child by stimulating the child with toys and games and other things like that. I don't have a kid of my own, but I'm at least able to interject a little bit of common sense to better understand this.
Kids are adorable when they're calm and playful, but little demons when they're screaming, snotting, and destroying your shit and keeping you up at night.
Maybe you just need to be a better parent then.
Men really think having children is easy and fun. It's not so fun when they're pissing and shit and crying nonstop.
What were you doing when you were a small child?
Do you have kids? No, and I got my tube side 3 years ago, but thanks for asking.
Happy that your bloodline's gonna end then. We don't need to deal with your dumbass anymore.
Wow, Diana's so cute. Maybe I want kids one day. Did you know they poop and pee and cry? Why this compulsive need to counter-signal this? Watching a fictional kid play with toys for a few seconds and thinking that's what it's like raising an actual human being is probably a sign you have zero idea what it really looks like being a parent, and you should not base your decision off a video game character.
Wait, wait, this community note. OP is an e-girl with an OnlyFans account.
Opinion completely freaking rejected then. You don't know a dang thing. Opinion in the bin right now.
You stupid gamers don't get it. Doom scrolling TikTok and having multiple failed situationships is true happiness. Children are a burden. Nobody is saying parenting is easy. Nobody said that.
But they're willing to take the sacrifice and the risk to ensure that their lineage continues, that their bloodline endures, that they get to see their pride and joy succeed at life. Because there is that instinctive drive to see that through. And it puts a smile on their face every freaking time. Do you think outsiders looking in could see like a children's music recital and it being really cringed because they're playing on the recorder really poorly and badly and it's completely tone deaf? But the parents are sitting there and just being like, my child is up on stage having the time of their life. I'm happy because they're happy. And it's silly and it's fun. And I'm just happy to see that my child is doing something that they like. It makes the whole thing worth it. And anybody else's opinion on the matter, completely, utterly pointless.
All the parts parents say are the best parts, all the parts parents say are worth it, that is what people are seeing and yearning for. They have this like insane compulsion.
It's cost and effect. Sure, there's going to be some problems down the line, like potty training and dealing with a sick kid and them trying to stick the fork in the electrical socket for the 5th time this week. It's all worth it at the end of the day because they're you. These kids that are your kids, they're at least half of you. They're half of you and they're half of your spouse. But they're yours. And you need to be there for them. You need to be the role model to guide them to the future that they so rightfully deserve. Not your future, their future. Using your experiences having grown up to push them in the direction where they will succeed at life. And when they succeed, it's the greatest feeling for you.
To attack anything that's like remotely pro-family, I guess because it culturally clocks as conservative. So you have to just shun it and mock it, or else you're doing a fascist propaganda or something. This whole thing has just been a
You're a Nazi if you want a family, is the argument.
Litmus test for humanity. On one side, people who long for love and meaning and human connection desire deeper things and they're in touch with their humanity. And on the other side, miserable, insane freaks who want to destroy everything pure and wholesome. And then on the sidelines, normal people who just think this is a fun game.
Yep. And then there's people that just be like, I'm just having fun with this. I'm not really getting any paternal instinct from it at all, but I'm just having fun with the game. I like the way that the child hacks the robots.
Yeah, that's probably most people.
But they're probably Nazis as well, so...
I think we're a little too online sometimes. So
yeah.
We've established that the broveries have been activated by this
broveries. Okay, that's a new one. That's a new one.
Game. But is the male biological clock real? Unlike women who are born with a specific number of eggs, men create sperm all their life. Right now as we speak, your balls are creating sperm. Men can technically get someone pregnant all their life. And by someone, I mean a woman, not a femboy. You can't get a femboy pregnant.
No.
Stop trying.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna freaking work.
Sperm quality tends to decline over time. Lower sperm count and more DNA damage to the sperm occurs. These changes usually start after 35 to 40 years old. So as men age...
So yeah, Hassan's balls don't work anymore, but he got a jump start on that with all the chemicals that he pumped into his body to make himself appear swole, but then his hair started falling out, so he had to inject more chemicals into his head in order for his hair to grow back, and in doing so, his balls shriveled up like raisins.
The risk of passing on genetic mutations increases. Similar to maternal age, higher paternal age has been associated with autism, schizophrenia, so basically being a shoe0nhead fan, and other rare genetic disorders, as well as the chance of miscarriage rates being higher. So when red pill manosphere people tell you like, oh, you have all the time in the world.
No. It's just going to be more difficult, and the end results are not going to be pretty.
To have children, bro. Focus on yourself, queen. Get that bag. Like, technically, they're correct. Physically, you do have all the time in the world, but that doesn't mean you should wait. Having kids is more than the ability to reproduce. You want energy to chase a toddler around. You want your kids to have their father in their life for a long time. You want to see your kid graduate and maybe have children of their own. You want to give...
That's why people were always getting, like, back in the olden days, that's why people were marrying young. That's why people were having children young, because the life expectancy was so freaking short. It was questionable whether you would be able to make it to 40, let alone 60. And given how many advances that we've had in the medical field nowadays, that's even more beneficial for children and people growing up, because if the parents have the children young, then, and I'm saying like in their 20s or so, if you're having kids when you're in your 20s and stuff, it's entirely possible that your parents would be able to get all the way into their 80s and their 90s, and you get to have them in your life for a very, very, very long time. I know for a fact all my grandparents got into their 80s. So it's like life expectancy is shooting through the roof just because of all the advancements that we've made, medically speaking. Back in the olden days, that was a luxury to have.
Your parents' grandchildren. You don't want to be a super old dad or mom, but if that's how it happens, that's how it happens, and that's great. Life is not a Hallmark movie, but it should not be the ideal for men and women. Like, if you are in a stable relationship, get married and have kids as soon as possible. Honestly, it's the stable relationship part I think people are having the most trouble with.
Oh, yeah. In this day and age, nobody's stable anymore.
It's easy to be like, find a wife and get married and have kids, bro. And it's like, find a wife? From where? The wife store?
Exactly. It's probably a reason why I'm still single. It's like, where do I even freaking begin to look for a woman? I have no idea where to start.
Listen, I believe you will have that one day, Anon. I believe you will have that wife and daughter or son. You will have a little Diana of your own one day. You will hang those drawings on your fridge. Don't blackpill, don't doom. We're all gonna make it. Same to you ladies watching. If I can make it, you can make it. So what did you guys think of this? Have you played Pragmata? Did you like it? Did it make you feel those fatherly or motherly instincts? Is your biological clock ticking? Do you have baby fever? If you like this video, please subscribe, and if you can, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All Patreons get the raw, uncensored version of the video a day before it comes out, and I'm going to start doing live streams for Patreon members only, so that should be fun. And I will see you guys soon with a new video. A slop video, hopefully. Bye!
I have a feeling that the slop video in question is just going to be responding to all the terminally online people that have been trying to throw her under the bus and be like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Oh boy. I hope that's where it'll go, because that'll be freaking hilarious if it does happen. Oh. I had a lot to say about that one. More so than I do many other videos, because not looking at the biological clock, I'm looking at the stream clock. Yeah, I had a lot to talk about with this one. So yeah.
Stop right there! You're getting 7 across the air!
He's still coming at you slowly. And what's the idea?